Hello, this is Jonah Rosenblum, your Record-Courier postgame show live from Kent. What an opener for the Kent Roosevelt Rough Riders. They open up their 2019-2020 season with an overtime victory, 45-42 over Field, and it was an absolute instant classic. At the end of regulation, they are down 1 point. Roderick Moxley goes to the free throw line with 0 on the clock, misses the first shot. The crowd is going crazy on both sides, steps up, recovers, and makes the second shot under maximum pressure to force overtime. And then the Falcons scored the first 3 points in overtime. Rough Riders rally back. Zach Common, a beautiful job splitting the defense on a fast break. 2 defenders, tight seam, he's able to get through it, makes the layup, makes the free throw. At some point, the Rough Riders up 3. Jacob Gartner for Field with a 3-pointer to tie the game up with 6 seconds remaining in overtime. Looks like we might be heading to a double overtime, and that's when Zach Common steps up and hits a buzzer-beating 3-pointer from between the arc and the timeline to win this game in the first overtime, 45-42. A huge game for Zach Common. He had a big second quarter after the Rough Riders struggled offensively in the first quarter, which makes sense. It was their first game of the year, but they scored just 3 points in the first quarter, and then Zach Common exploded for 10 points in the second quarter, along with a couple of slick assists to set up his teammates. And then this game kind of seesawed back and forth. The Falcons, who are a little bit undersized, but no shortage of grit, I thought they had a couple of big games across the board. I thought Jacob Gartner, 3 3-pointers in the second half, including that game-tying 3-pointer in overtime that tied it up at 42 before Common hit the game winner. But then you also saw Nevada Loudon step up, hit a couple of big shots, including in the second half and overtime. And then you also saw Jordan McComb, who's really the lone big guy, the lone guy who's got a lot of height here on this Falcons team. I thought he stepped up at times. Jacob Lupartis had a big game rebounding the ball. Falcons very gritty throughout, but the Rough Riders able to win this one. I believe I have Zach Common down to 25 points, including that buzzer beater to end this game in overtime. But what an opener here in Kent. Reporting live, Jonah Rosenblum, RC.